Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video. In this video, we're going to look at the video solutions to the Corbettmaths practice questions on Best Buys. If you need any extra help on Best Buys, if you go to Corbettmaths and go to the videos and worksheet section and scroll down to video number 210, there's a video tutorial there on Best Buys. Alternatively, you can scan this QR code. In this video, we're going to focus on the video solutions to the practice questions, so let's get started. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 1. So question number 1 says, water is sold in two sizes, perhaps in a particular shop, and 1 gallon costs 85 pence and 2 gallons cost £1.72. And the question says, which is better value for money, and you must show your working. Now, this is a non-calculator question, so that's going to be quite useful to know that we're not using a calculator for this question. Now here we've got the price of 1 gallon, we've got the price of 2 gallons. Now, if we were to buy 2 gallons of water, it would cost us £1.72 if we use this one. But if we bought 2 1 gallons, that could tell us the price of buying 2 gallons that way. So let's check the price of buying 2 gallons using the 1 gallon bottle of water. So if we buy 2 times 1 gallon, then we can compare that to 1 2 gallon container of water. So let's compare them. So 2 1 gallons, well, 2 1 gallons would be 2 times 85p, so 2 times 85p. And if we double 85p, well, we could just do 85 plus 85, so 85 plus 85 and see what we get. 5 plus 5 is 10, put a 0 down, carry a 1. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. So that's 170 pence. So it's 170 pence or £1.70, so £1.70. So if we buy 2 1 gallons, to buy 2 gallons of water, it would cost £1.70. Or if we bought 1 2 gallon container, that would cost £1.72. So as you can see, it's cheaper to buy 2 gallons of water by buying 2 1 gallons than it is to use 1 2 gallons. So which one's better value for money? The 1 gallon container of water. So let's explain that. And that's it. So I've just written the 1 gallon container is better value for money than the 2 gallon container because it's cheaper to buy 2 gallons of water using the 2 1 gallons than it is to use 1 2 gallon container. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 2. So question number 2 says the same type of dinner plate is sold in 2 different packs. So there's a small pack of dinner plates that costs £5.25 and you get 3 plates in that pack. Or you could buy a large pack of dinner plates which contains 12 of the same plates and that costs £21 and 24 pence. And the question says which is better value for money and you must show your working. Okay, so we've got 3 plates in the small pack and 12 plates in the large pack. Well, actually this is quite nice because if we buy 4 small packs, 4 times 3 is 12. So we can find the cost of buying 12 plates by buying 4 small packs, and then we can compare that to the price of 1 large pack. So let's do that. So let's buy 12 plates. So if we were to buy 4 of the 3 pack containers, that'll be 4 times £5.25. So we're going to do £5.25 multiplied by 4, and that'll tell us the cost of buying 12 plates by buying 4 small packs. And we'll also look at the price of buying 1 12 pack, so 1 times the 12 pack of plates, and that would cost £21 and 24p. And we're going to compare these and see which is better value for money. Okay, so in terms of the 4 free packs, well, that's £5.25 times 4. So you could write down £5.25, £5.25, £5.25 and £5.25 and add them all together if you prefer using addition. Or we could take our £5.25 and we're going to multiply that by 4 and see what we get. So I've just set out the multiplication and I'm going to put a decimal point below the other one like so. And we're going to do 4 times 5, that's 20. So put a 0 down and carry a 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, so put a 0 down and carry a 1. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. So it would cost £21. So if we buy 12 plates by buying 4 of the small packs, so 4 of these, that would be 12 plates, that would cost £21. Whereas the large pack of 12 plates costs £21 and 24p. So it's better value for money to buy 4 of the small packs than it is to buy 1 of the large packs. So which one's better value for money? The small pack. And let's explain that. And that's it. I've just written down the small pack is better value for money because it's cheaper to buy 12 plates by buying 4 of the small packs than it is to buy 1 of the large packs. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 3. So question number 3 says vegetarian burgers are sold in 2 different sizes. There's a regular pack of burgers, so there's 8 burgers for £1.59, or there's a large packet of burgers which has 24 burgers for £4.79. And the question says which packet is better value for money? So which of these 2 packets is better value for money? And we must show our working. Okay, well this is quite nice because we've got 24 burgers in the large pack, but if we do 3 times 8, if we take our 8 and times it by 3, 8 times 3 is 24. So if we buy 3 regular packs, so if we buy 3 of these regular packets, that's 24 burgers. And then we can compare that to the price of the large packet of burgers, which has 24 in there. So let's do that. So let's buy 3 times 8 burgers. So 3 of the regular packs, 3 times 8 burgers. And the price there would be the £1.59, one of the packs, multiplied by 3, because we're buying 3 of these packets to see the cost of 24 burgers. So we'll do £1.59 times 3. And if we buy one lot of the 24 burgers, so one lot of 24 burgers, the price of that would be £4.79, so £4.79. And we can compare and see which one's better value for money. So let's take the £1.59 and times that by 3. So £1.59, 1.59 multiplied by 3. And again, you could use the addition here and have £1.59, £1.59 and £1.59 and add them together that way. But here I've just written down £1.59 multiplied by 3. And we've got the decimal point here, so I'm going to put a decimal point there. 3 times 9 is 27, so let's put our 7 down and carry a 2. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17, so put a 7 down and carry a 1. And 3 times 1 is equal to 3, plus 1 is equal to 4. So if we buy 3 regular packs of burgers, that would cost £4.77, and you get 24 burgers. And you get 24 burgers in the large pack. So here we've got £4.77 if we buy the 24 burgers that way, and £4.79 if we buy the 24 burgers that way. So this one's better value for money, the regular packet, so let's explain that. And that's it. I've just explained that the regular packet of burgers is better value for money, because if we buy 24 burgers that way, it's cheaper than buying 24 burgers in the one large packet. And that's it. So let's have a look at our next question, question number 5. So question number 5 says, orange juice is sold in 2 different size containers. There's 4 litres of orange juice for £2.20 and 6 litres of orange juice for £3.24. And we're told a small container contains 4 litres of orange juice and costs £2.20, and a large container of orange juice contains 6 litres and costs £3.24. And the question says, which size container gives better value for money? And you must show your workings. Now, in terms of this question, there's a few different approaches that we could use. We could divide the cost by the number of litres. So we could take the £2.20 and divide it by 4. That'll tell us how much 1 litre of orange juice costs in that container. And here we could take the £3.24 and divide it by 6 and find the cost of 1 litre in this container, and then compare them. And I'll look at that approach in a second. But another approach that we could potentially use here is to buy 12 litres of orange juice. Because here, if we look at 4, the multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12. And the multiples of 6 are 6, 12. So we can buy 12 litres of orange juice by buying 3 of these containers, and that'll be 12 litres. Or we could buy 2 of these containers, and that would be 12 litres. And then we could compare the price and see which one's better value for money. Okay, so let's have a look at this approach. So let's buy 3 of these containers. So if we take the price, which is £2.20, and we multiply that by 3, that'll tell us the cost of buying 12 litres using the 4 litre container. So let's put the decimal point below the others. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 2 is 6. So it costs £6.60 to buy 12 litres of orange juice using this container. But with this container, if we buy 2 of these, so if we buy 2 of these larger containers, that'll be 12 litres as well. So let's take the price, £3.24, and let's double it, let's times by 2. And let's find the price of 12 litres by using these containers. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 3 is 6. So it costs £6.48 to buy 12 litres of orange juice using these containers, or it would cost £6.60 using those containers. So it would be cheaper to buy 12 litres by using the 6 litre containers, these large containers of orange juice. So this one's better value for money. So let's explain that. And that's it. I've just explained that the large container is better value for money because it's cheaper to buy 12 litres using that container than it is to use the 4 litres container. Okay, so that was one approach. I did mention there was another approach, and let's have a look at that now. Okay, so the other approach is to find the cost of 1 litre of orange juice. So if we take the price here, the £2.20, and we divide it by 4, we can find the cost of 1 litre of orange juice for this container. And likewise, if we take the cost here, the £3.24, and divide that by 6, we can find the price of 1 litre of that orange juice, and then compare them. Okay, so let's take our £2.20. So £2.20, that's 220 pence. I'm just changing it into pence because I know whenever I divide by 4, I'm going to get less than a pound anyway. So I'm just changing it into pence there, 220 pence, and I'm going to divide it by 4. So how many 4s go into 2? 0, remainder 2. How many 4s go into 22? That's going to be 5, that's 20, remainder 2. And how many 4s go into 20? That's 5. So it would be 55p per litre, 55p per litre for the 4 litre container. So for the 4 litre container, it's 55p per litre. Now for the 6 litre container, if we take the price of 324 pence and we divide that by 6, we can find the cost per litre of orange juice in this container. So how many 6s go into 3? 0, remainder 3. How many 6s go into 32? Well, 6 times 5 is 30, so it's going to be 5, remainder 2. And finally, how many 6s go into 24? That's 4. So it's going to be 54p per litre, 54p per litre. So that means that this container, the 6 litre container, the orange juice costs 54p per litre of orange juice, but it's 55p per litre in the smaller container. So that means it's better value for money in the larger container because it's only 54p per litre of orange juice compared to 55p per litre of orange juice in the smaller one. So let's explain that. And that's it. I've just explained the large container is better value for money because it's 54p per litre, which is better value than 55p per litre in the smaller one. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 6. Okay, so let's have a look at our next question, question number 6. So question number 6 says a shop sells donuts in 2 different size bags. There's a small bag of donuts, which gives you 3 donuts for £1.08, or you could buy a large bag of donuts, which contains 5 donuts but costs £1.70. And the question says which bag is better value for money, so which one's better value for money, and we must show a working. Okay, so again, there's a couple of approaches that we could use in this question. One approach is to take the cost and divide it by how many donuts you get to find the cost per donut. Or the other approach is to find the cost for a certain number of donuts. And I'm going to use that approach to begin with. So here we've got a small bag. It contains 3 donuts. So we could buy 3 or 6 or 9 or 12 or 15 and so on. And with the large bag, we could buy 5, 10, 15. So as you can see here, the lowest common multiple of 3 and 5 is 15, the first number in both of their times tables. So we can find the cost of 15 donuts. And you could go for 30 or 45 if you wanted to, but I think 15 is probably the best option. We can find the cost of 15 donuts and then compare them. So if we wanted to buy 15 donuts using the small bags, well, because you get 3 in a bag, you'd need 5 of these bags. So let's do 5 times £1.08 and find the cost of buying 15 donuts using the small bag. So we're going to do 5 times 3 donuts. So that's going to be 5 times £1.08. And if we do 5 times £1.08, we can find the cost of 15 donuts using the small bag. So £1.08, we're going to multiply that by 5 because we're going to buy 5 of these bags. Let's put a decimal point below the other one. 5 times 8 is 40, put a 0 down, carry a 4. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. And then finally 5 times 1 is 5. So if we wanted to buy 15 donuts by buying 5 of these small bags, the cost would be £5.40. So it's £5.40. But if we wanted to buy 15 donuts using the large bag, well, each large bag has 5 donuts. So it's 3 large bags, 1, 2, 3 bags would be 15 donuts using the large bag. So it's going to be 3 times £1.70. So let's write that down. 3 times 5 donuts. So that'd be 3 multiplied by £1.70. So 3 times £1.70 because it's 3 of these bags. And let's do 3 times £1.70. So £1.70 multiplied by 3 and see what we get. So let's put a decimal point below the other one. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 7 is 21, so put a 1 down and carry a 2. And 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So that would be £5.10. So the cost of buying 15 donuts using the large bags would be £5.10. So if you were to buy 15 donuts, you'd actually save 30p by buying 3 of these large bags as opposed to 5 of these small bags. So which one's better value for money? The large bag. So let's write that down. And that's it. I've just written down the large bag is better value for money because, as you can see, it would be cheaper to buy 15 donuts using that bag than it would be to use the smaller bag. Okay, so that was one approach. Now, another approach that I mentioned is we can find the cost of 1 donut. So for the small bag, 3 donuts cost £1.08 or 108 pence. So let's take the 108 pence and divide it by 3 to find the cost of 1 donut. So how many 3's go into 1? 0, remainder 1. How many 3's go into 10? Well, 3, 6, 9, that's 3, remainder 1. And how many 3's go into 18? That's 6. So that would be 36p per donut. So in the small bag, each donut costs 36p. But in the large bag, you get 5 donuts for £1.70. So if we take the cost of 170 pence, so the £1.70, and divide that by 5, we can find the cost of 1 donut in that bag. So how many 5's go into 1? 0, remainder 1. How many 5's go into 17? That'll be 3, remainder 2. And how many 5's go into 20? That's 4. So in this bag, it's 34p per donut. So it's 34p per donut. So this bag, it's 34p for each donut. And this bag, it's 36p for each donut. So this bag is better value for money. So let's explain that. And that's it. I've just explained that the large bag is better value for money. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 7. Okay, so let's have a look at our next question, question number 7. So question number 7 says, snacks can be bought in a pack of 8 biscuits for £1.92 or a pack of 10 biscuits for £2.55. And the question is, which of these 2 packs is better value for money? And we've been asked to show our working. Okay, so again, what we could do is find the cost of 1 biscuit. So we could take the price, the £1.92, and we could divide that by 8. So if we divide that by 8, we can find the cost of 1 biscuit in this packet. So how many 8's go into 1? 0, remainder 1. How many 8's go into 19? That's going to be 2 8's is 16, so it's going to be 2, remainder 3. And then how many 8's go into 32? That'll be 4. So that's 24p per biscuit for the 8 pack. pack. And then here we're going to take the price to 255 pence and we're going to divide that by 10 because there's 10 biscuits in that packet, and that tells us the price of each biscuit in that packet. Now here you may notice I didn't use the bus shelter for this division because whenever we have 255 divided by 10, we can just divide it by 10 by moving each of the digits one column to the right. So that'll be 25.5 pence per biscuit. So we just divided by 10 and we moved each of these digits one column to the right, so that's 25.5p per biscuit. So 25.5p per biscuit. So as you can see here, for the 8 pack of biscuits it's 24p per biscuit, but for the 10 pack of biscuits it's 25.5p per biscuit. So the 8 packet of biscuits is better value for money because each of those biscuits is cheaper. So let's write that. And I've just written down the 8 pack of biscuits is better value, and that's it. So that was one approach. Another approach is to find the cost for a certain number of biscuits. So perhaps if we buy 40 biscuits, because if we have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, that's 5 packets of those biscuits, and that would be 40 biscuits. And if we buy 4 of the 10 packs, so 10, 20, 30, 40, a common multiple of 8 and 10 would be 40. We could look at 80 or 120 and so on, but I would often go for the lowest common multiple, 40. So the lowest common multiple of 8 and 10 is 40, so let's find the cost of buying 40 biscuits. So to buy 40 biscuits, we could buy 5 of these packets, or we could buy 4 of these packets. And again, we can look at the multiples to help us. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these packets, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of those packets. So let's take the prices and multiply this price by 5 to find the cost of 40 biscuits by using the packs of 8 biscuits. And then also let's take this price and multiply it by 4 to find the cost of buying 40 biscuits by buying the packs of 10 biscuits. So let's take this price to £1.92 and let's multiply that by 5, because that'll tell us the cost of buying 40 biscuits using these packs of 8 biscuits. So 5 times 2 is 10, put a 0 down and carry a 1. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 1 is 46, so put a 6 down and carry a 4. And 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9, so it'll cost £9.60. So it'll be £9.60 to buy 40 biscuits using the 8 pack of biscuits. Now for the 10 pack of biscuits, you buy 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, because 4 times 10 is 40. So let's take the price and times it by 4. So £2.55 multiplied by 4. So just put a decimal point below the other one. 4 times 5 is 20, put a 0 down and carry a 2. 4 times 5 is again 20, plus 2 is 22, so put a 2 down and carry a 2. And 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So it'll cost £10.20 to buy 40 biscuits using the packs of 10 biscuits at £2.55 each. So as you can see, this one's better value for money. Again, the 8 pack, so let's explain that. And that's it. I've just explained that the 8 pack of biscuits is better value. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 8. So question number 8, it's a calculator question, so that's handy. I'm just going to make sure I've got a calculator. Yep. And it says that in a shop, glue sticks cost 75 pence each, or a box of 5 glue sticks for £3.50. And the question says work out the cheapest price for 24 glue sticks. So we want to find the cheapest price to buy 24 glue sticks. Now I just want to check here. If we've got £3.50 for 5, if we do 35 divided by 5, that's 7. So £3.50 divided by 5 would be 70p. So if we were to buy these boxes of glue sticks, they would work out at 70p each. So I just wanted to check that it wasn't cheaper to actually buy 24 individual glue sticks than using actually the box of 5 glue sticks. So this box of 5 glue sticks does save us some money. So we do want to buy as many of these boxes of 5 glue sticks as possible. So if we wanted to buy 24 glue sticks, what I'm thinking is we could buy a box of 5, another box of 5, another box of 5, and another box of 5. That would be 5, 10, 15, 20. And then we'd have to buy 4 individual glue sticks. And then that would be our 24 glue sticks, where we buy 1, 2, 3, 4 of the boxes of 5. That would be 20. And then we buy 1, 2, 3, 4 more glue sticks. And that would be how we're going to buy the 24 glue sticks. Okay, so let's work that out. So if we wanted to buy 4 boxes of 5, well, each box is £3.50. So if we take £3.50, so £3.50, and we multiply that by 4, because we want to buy 4 boxes of those, and we take our calculator, because it's a calculator question, we do £3.50 multiplied by 4, that's equal to £14. So those 20 glue sticks would cost £14. Then with these 4 individual glue sticks, they cost 75p each, or 0.75. And we can times that by 4 because we're buying 4 of these. So if we do 0.75 times 4, 0.75 multiplied by 4, that's equal to £3. So if we buy 4 boxes of glue sticks, that would cost £14. That would be 20 glue sticks altogether. We would buy another 4 individual glue sticks, that would cost £3. So if we add the £14 and the £3 together, so £14 plus £3, that would be the cost of buying the 24 glue sticks, and that's equal to £17. So the price of buying 24 glue sticks, or the cheapest price of buying 24 glue sticks, would be £17. And that's it. And if you just want to check it was best value for money, you could take the 75p, 0.75, and you could times that by 24, and that worked out to be £18. So it actually cost you £1 more if you bought them individually than buying these boxes of glue sticks. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 9. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 9. So question number 9 is a non-calculator question, so I'm just putting the calculator down. And we're told that 50 rulers cost £10. And we're told that 30 protractors cost £5.40. And we're told that a protractor is cheaper than a ruler, and we've been asked to work out how much cheaper. Okay, so let's find the cost of each ruler. So we can buy 50 rulers for £10. So that means £10, 1,000 pence, so 1,000 pence. So let's take our 1,000 pence, so 1,000 pence, and I'm just working in pence here because I know that each ruler will cost so many pence rather than pounds. So I'm just changing it into pence, and if you take 10 times it by 100, that'll be 1,000. So we've got 1,000 pence, and we're dividing that by 50. So how many 50s go into 1? 0, remainder 1. How many 50s go into 10? 0, remainder 10. How many 50s go into 100? That's 2. And how many 50s go into 0? That's 0. So that will be 20p per ruler, so 20p per ruler. Now, in terms of the protractors, the 30 protractors cost £5.40. Now, I'm going to change this into pence, so it'll be 540 pence, 540 pence. So that's 540 pence, and we're going to divide that by 30 because we want to divide it by how many protractors there are to find the cost of one protractor. So how many 30s go into 5? That's 0, remainder 5. How many 30s go into 54? That's 1, remainder 24. And how many 30s go into 240? That would be 8, because 8 times 3 is 24. So 8 times 30 would be 240. So that's 8. So that's 18p per protractor. So the question told us that the protractor was cheaper than the ruler, but I want to know how much cheaper it is. So let's take the price of the ruler, 20p, and take away the price of the protractor, 18p, and work out the difference between them. And 20 take away 18 is equal to 2. So it's 2p cheaper. So that's it. So the question wanted to know how much cheaper it was to buy a protractor than a ruler. It's 2p cheaper. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 10. Okay, so let's have a look at our next question, question number 10. So question number 10 says, two teachers, Mr. Stevens and Miss Hendry, each buy 180 pencils. There's a small box of pencils which contains 20 pencils for £1.60, and there's a large box of pencils which contains 30 pencils for £2.19. And Mr. Stevens only buys the small boxes of pencils, and Miss Hendry only buys the large boxes of pencils. And the question says, how much more did Mr. Stevens pay for the 180 pencils than Miss Hendry? Okay, so let's find out how much each of the teachers paid for the pencils. So they buy 180 pencils. So if he buys just small boxes, if we take the 180, so 180, and we divide that by 20, how many pencils are in one box, we get that's equal to 9. So that means that Mr. Stevens buys 9 boxes of pencils. Whereas Miss Hendry, she buys 180 pencils, but she only buys large boxes, so each of those boxes contains 30 pencils. So if we do 180 divided by 30, that's equal to 6. So that means that Miss Hendry buys 6 boxes of pencils. So we now know how many boxes of pencils they buy. Let's work out the cost. So Mr. Stevens, he buys 9 boxes of pencils, and each of those boxes costs £1.60. So if we do £1.60 multiplied by 9, that'll be how much money Mr. Stevens pays for his 180 pencils. So if we take our £1.60 and we multiply that by 9, that's a calculator question, that's equal to £14.40. So that's how much he pays. Now in terms of Miss Hendry, she buys 6 boxes at £2.19 each. So £2.19 multiplied by 6 is equal to £2.19 multiplied by 6 is equal to £13.14. So we know how much she pays and we know how much he pays, and the question asks us how much more he pays for the pencils than she did. So if we take them away, so that'll tell us the difference. That'll tell us how much more he paid for the pencils. So £14.40 subtract £13.14 is equal to £1.26. So £1.26. So that means that he paid £1.26 more for the pencils than she did. And that's it. So we've answered the question. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 11. So question number 11 says, a shop normally sells a packet of 15 pence for £4.50. So it's normally 15 pence for £4.50. And in a sale, they offer 2 packets for £7.80. So instead of costing the normal £4.50 each, they're doing a special offer where they can buy 2 packets for £7.80. And then the shop put up this sign, and the sign says, save 5p per pen. So it's saying with their special offer, you're going to save 5p per pen. And the question says, is the sign correct? You must show you're working. Now, because the sign says save 5p per pen, let's work out how much a pen costs before the sale and then work out how much the pens cost in the sale and see how much they're saving per pen. So before the sale, it was £4.50 for 15 pens. So if we take the 450 pence, or £4.50, and we divide that by 15, that'll tell us the cost per pen. So 450 divided by 15 is equal to 30p. So it was 30p per pen before the sale. And then in the sale, they offer 2 packets of pens for £7.80. Now that's 2 packets, and each of the packets contains 15 pens. So if we do 15 multiplied by 2, that's equal to 30. So you'll be buying 30 pens, and the cost for those 30 pens is £7.80. So let's take the £7.80, or 780 pence, and divide that by 30, and work out the cost per pen in the sale. So 780 divided by 30 is equal to 26p per pen, 26p per pen. So we know the cost of the pens before the sale, 30p per pen, and we know the cost of the pens in the sale, 26p per pen. Now they've put up a sign that says save 5p per pen. Now if you have a look here, 30p and 26p, 30 take away 26 is equal to 4. So you're only actually saving 4p per pen. So the saving isn't 5p per pen, it's only 4p per pen, so the sign's misleading. Or it's not true actually. So the question is the sign correct? The answer is no. And I've just written no, you only save 4p per pen, so not 5p per pen, you save 4p per pen, and that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 12. Okay, so question number 12, we're told a shop sells cola in 3 different size bottles. So you can buy a 2 litre bottle of cola for £1.99, a 600 milliliter bottle of cola for 62 pence, or a 1.5 litre bottle of cola for £1.53. And the question says, which size bottle is the best value for money? And you must show all your working. So there's lots of different approaches that we could use here. We could take the prices and divide them by how much cola you get. So you could take the 199 pence, or £1.99, and then divide it by 2,000, and that'll tell us the cost for 1 milliliter of cola. And then here we could take the 62 pence and divide it by 600, and that'll tell us the price for 1 milliliter of cola there. And we could take the £1.53 and divide it by 1,500 to work out the cost of 1 milliliter there. So that's one approach that we could use. Or another approach that we could use is actually to work out an amount of cola that we can buy by either just using the 2 litre bottles, the 600 milliliter bottles, or the 1.5 litre bottles. So in terms of our 2 litres, that's 2,000 millilitres. 600 millilitres is 600 millilitres, and 1.5 litres is 1,500 millilitres. So I'm going to find a common multiple of 2,000, 600 and 1,500. And then once we find out a common multiple of them, or perhaps even better, the lowest common multiple of those numbers, then we can buy that amount of cola by just using the 2 litre bottles, the 600 milliliter bottles, and the 1.5 litre bottles. So let's take the amounts, the 2,000 millilitres, the 600 millilitres, and the 1,500 millilitres, and let's find a common multiple, or actually I'm going to look for the lowest common multiple of each of those amounts, because that'll tell us an amount of cola that we can buy by using just those bottles, or those bottles. So in terms of 2,000, you've got 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000 and so on. In terms of 600, you've got 600, 1,200, 1,800, 2,400, 3,000, 3,600. Now actually none of these numbers appear in this list yet at the top, so I'm going to keep on going until we get a number in this list. 4,200, 4,800, 5,400, 6,000. Oh, fantastic. That's actually in the top list as well. Let's hopefully see if it's in this list below of the multiples of 1,500. So 1,500 plus another 1,500. Well, it's a calculator question, but so that'd be 3,000, and then 4,500, and then 6,000. So here you can see that 6,000 is in each of the lists. It's a common multiple of 2,000, 600 and 1,500. So we're going to buy 6,000 millilitres, or 6 litres. So we want to buy 6 litres. That's the amount of cola that we're going to buy. So in terms of using just the 2 litre bottles, that would be 3 bottles. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3. So if we do 1.99 multiplied by 3, that's the price of 6 litres using this bottle. So that would be 1.99 multiplied by 3 is equal to £5.97. So £5.97. So I'm just going to write it beneath here. £5.97. That's the price for 6 litres. So for 6 litres. In terms of this bottle, well, 600 times 10 is 6,000. So 600 millilitres times 10 would be 6 litres. And let's just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bottles. So if we take our 62p, and times that by 10, that's equal to 620 pence, or £6.20. So that'd be £6.20 for 6 litres using just the small bottles. Or 1.5 litres, well, that'll be, if we look at our 1,500, to get to 6 litres, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 bottles. And thinking about it, 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3 litres, and then plus another 1.5 would be 4.5 litres, plus another 1.5 would be 6 litres. So we need to buy 4 of these bottles. So let's take the £1.53 and times that by 4 and see what we get. £1.53 multiplied by 4 is equal to £6 and 12 pence. So £6 and 12 pence. So £6 and 12 pence. So in terms of the best value for money, as you can see here, the 2 litre bottle only costs £5.97 for 6 litres, but the other bottles cost more. So that means that this bottle is best value for money. So let's write that down. And that's it. I've just explained that the 2 litre bottle is best value. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question. So question number 13 says there are 2 different packets of the same type of paper in a shop. We can buy a small packet which contains 150 sheets of paper which for 75p, or 400 sheets of paper of that same paper for £2.08. And the question says which of the 2 packets gives better value for money, and we must show our workings. So in terms of this question, one approach is we could find a certain amount of paper that you could buy by just using the small packets and also just the regular packets. So in terms of 150 and 400, I'm thinking 1,200. If we buy 1,200 sheets of paper, we could buy 1,200 sheets of paper by buying 8 of these, because if we do 150 times 8, that's equal to 1,200. So we could buy 8 of these if we do 8 times 75p. Or we could buy 1,200 sheets of paper by buying 3 regular packets. So we could find the price of 1,200 sheets of paper by buying 3 of these regular packets by doing £2.08 times 3. So let's do that. 75p times 8 would be equal to 600, or £6. So it costs £6 to buy 1,200 sheets using this small packet of paper. And then in terms of this large pack of paper, if we buy 3 of these, that's 1,200 as well. So if we do £2.08 multiplied by 3, that's equal to £6.24. So it would cost £6 to buy 1,200 sheets of paper using just the small packets, or £6.24 by using the regular packets. So the small pack's better value for money. So let's explain that. And that's it. So the small pack would be better value for money. And just in terms of finding the 1,200, if we had listed the multiples of 150 and listed the multiples of 400, well, 400 would be easy. It'd be 400, 800, 1,200. And in terms of the 150, that'd be 150, 300, 450, 600, we're halfway there, 750, 900, 1,050 and 1,200, and then you can see that's 8 packets of that paper. So we could buy 8 of those packs and 3 of those packs, and they both give you 1,200 sheets of paper, and the prices would be £6 and £6.24, and this one's actually better value for money. So that's one way we could approach this question. Another way is to actually just take the price and divide it by the number of sheets of paper that we get, and that would tell us the price per sheet of paper. So we could take the 75p and we could divide it by 150, and if we take our 75p and divide it by 150, 75 divided by 150, it's a calculator question, is equal to 0.5. So that's 0.5p per sheet, and that's for the small packet of paper, the small pack. And then in terms of the regular packet, the regular packet, the price would be 208 pence, and we're going to divide that by 400 because you get 400 sheets of paper, and 208 divided by 400 is equal to 0.52p per sheet. So that means that each sheet of paper in the small packet costs 0.5p, but each sheet of paper in the regular packet costs 0.52p. So each sheet of paper is actually cheaper in the small packet, so it's better value for money. So let's explain that. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 14. So question number 14 says, Bramley apples cost £4.60 for a 3 kilogram bag at SuperValu supermarket, and the same type of apples cost £11.40 for a 7.5 kilogram bag at Nixon's supermarket. And the question says, where are the apples better value for money, or best value for money? And we must show our working. So let's start off with SuperValu. So SuperValu. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the price, which is £4.60, so £4.60, and I'm going to divide it by 3. And that'll tell me the cost per kilogram in SuperValu. And then we'll do the same for Nixon's. So in terms of Nixon's, we'll take the price, which is £11.40, and we'll divide that by 7.5 kilograms to work out the price per kilogram there. So in terms of SuperValu, £4.60 divided by 3 is equal to 1.5333 and so on. So that's 1.5333 and so on pounds per kilogram. So so just over £1.53 per kilogram. And in terms of Nixons, if we take the £11.40 to £11.40 and divide it by 7.5, that's equal to £1.52, so £1.52 per kilogram. So in terms of a kilogram of apples, they're cheaper in Nixons, because that's 152, compared to SuperValu, which was 1.5333 and so on pounds per kilogram. So it's cheaper in Nixons. So let's explain that. And that's it. I've just said the apples are better value in Nixons. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 15. So question number 15 says a supermarket sells baked beans in two different size cans. So you can buy a 215 gram can of baked beans for 40 pence or a 395 gram tin of baked beans for 74 pence. And the question says which size of can is better value for money? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the price, the 40p, and I'm going to divide it by 215 to work out the price for 1 gram of baked beans using the small can. And then for the larger can, I'll take the price of 74p and divide it by 395. And that tells the price per gram in the large can. So let's do that. So in terms of the small can, so with the small can, we've got the price, which is 40p. We're going to divide that by 215, and that's equal to 40p divided by 215 is equal to 0.18604 and so on p per gram. Or let's just round that to 3 decimal places. That would be 0.186p per gram to 3 decimal places, to 3 dp. So that's the price per gram for that tin. In terms of this tin, it's 74p, and we're going to divide it by 395 because it's 395 grams, and that'll tell us the cost per gram for that tin of baked beans. So 74 divided by 395 is equal to 0.18734 and so on. And let's just again round that to 3 decimal places. That'll be 0.187 p per gram, so 0.187 pence per gram. So now if we have a look at the price for 1 gram of baked beans, this tin's actually better value for money. It's only 0.186p, whereas for this tin it's 0.187p, obviously to 3 decimal places, So this tin's better value, so let's explain that. And that's it. I've just explained that the 215 gram tin or can is better value for money. Okay, let's look at our next question. So question number 16 says a shop sells the same brand of washing powder in 3 different size boxes. There's a small box, which is 900 grams for £2.52, a standard box, which is 2.25 kilograms for £6.03, and a family box, which has 4 kilograms of the washing powder for £10.90. And the question says, which box is the best value for money? And you must show you're working. So what I'm going to do here in this question is I'm going to divide the costs by how much washing powder you get in each of the boxes. So we've got 900 grams. I'm going to change this into grams. That'll be 2,250 grams. And we've got 4 kilograms, which is 4,000 grams. And we've got the prices. So let's divide for each of them. Let's divide the cost by how much you get. Okay, so let's start with the small box. So with the small box, the cost is £2.52. I'm going to change it into pence, 252 pence, because I know whenever we do this division, it's going to be a decimal number. So it's a bit better if I actually change it into pence to begin with. So we've got 252 pence, and I'm going to divide that by 900 grams. So on my calculator, I'm going to do 252, so 252 divided by 900 is equal to 0.28 pence per gram, so pence per gram. So that's for the small box. The standard box, for the standard box, we've got the price, which is £6.03 or 603 pence, and we're going to divide that by how much washing powder is in that box, which is 2,250 grams. And whenever we do 603 divided by 2,250, that's equal to 0.268 pence per gram, so pence per gram. So that one's actually better value than that one. So the small box is 0.28 pence per gram, but the standard is 0.268, so actually cheaper than this one. So this one's actually better value than this one. And then for the family box, we'll take the price, which is £10.90 or 1,090 pence, and we'll divide that by how much washing powder is in it, which is 4,000 grams, so divide by 4,000. So let's take the 1,090 and divide it by 4,000 and see what we get. And that's equal to 0.2725p per gram, so p per gram. So let's look at these. So they're all 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. So let's look at the second decimal place, 8, 6 and 7. So this one's the best value for money, the standard one, because it's only 0.268 pence per gram. So the standard box is the best value for money. So let's explain that. And that's it. So the standard box is the best value for money. Okay, so let's look at our next part, part B. So part B says explain why a customer may not choose to buy the packet which has the best value for money. So why might a customer choose not to buy that standard packet? So if we have a look at them, so this one's the best value for money, this one the standard box, and it costs £6.03. Now, if a customer doesn't have £6.03 and they've only got £5, they would only be able to afford the small box. So one reason might be they don't actually have £6.03. They might have less than that and they can only afford a smaller box. Another reason might be they don't want to buy a 2.25 kilogram box. It might be a bit too big for them because perhaps maybe they're going on holiday, maybe they're going to a caravan and they don't want to bring a 2.25 kilogram box. They might only have enough space in the car for a 900 gram box. So it might be they choose not to buy the standard box because they want a smaller one, or perhaps they want a bigger one, even though it costs more. Maybe I would perhaps buy two of these ones, perhaps because it's better value, but there might be a reason. But I think perhaps the reason I'm going to give them this question is the fact that the standard box, the one that's best value for money, is £6.03, and maybe they don't have that amount of money. So let's explain that. And that's it. So I've actually given two reasons here. One reason that I've given is they may not have enough money. So for instance, if they only had £5, they couldn't afford the one that's the best value for money, so they'd have to buy the smaller box. Or another reason that I've given here, the second reason I've given is they may only want a small amount of washing powder. Perhaps if they're going away on holiday and they only want a small box, so they don't want to buy the one that's best value for money, they just want to buy the smallest one. So that's the possible reasons to why a customer may not choose to buy the one that's the best value for money. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 17. Okay, so let's have a look at our next question, question number 17. So question number 17 says, two hardware stores sell light bulbs. So we've got Homeworld and Oklahoma DIY. And in Homeworld, 6 light bulbs, they were £30, but it's now 15% off. So there's a saving where you save 15%. And there's also Oklahoma DIY, where the light bulbs are £6.50 each, but you buy 2 and you get 1 free. And the question says that Nicole wants to buy 42 light bulbs, so she wants to buy exactly 42 light bulbs. At which hardware store is it cheaper for Nicole to buy the light bulbs? So which one should she go to? Should she go to Homeworld or should she go to Oklahoma? So in terms of Homeworld, 6 light bulbs, they sell them in packets of 6 and they normally cost £30. Now she wants to buy 42 light bulbs, so 6 times 7 is 42, because if we take off 42 and we divide that by 6, that's equal to 7. So she needs 7 of these boxes because each box has 6 light bulbs. So she needs 7 boxes. And each box did cost £30. So it was 7 multiplied by 30 is equal to 7 times 3 is 21. So that'll be £210. So if before the sale, if Nicole went into Homeworld, she would have bought 7 boxes, each containing 6 light bulbs. That'll be 42 light bulbs. And the price of those light bulbs would have been £210. But there's a sale and it's 15% off. So let's take 15% off of this. So 10%, if we work out 10% of this number, to get 10%, you divide by 10. So that'll be £21. If you divide 210 by 10, you get 21. And then 5% would be half of that. So if we half £21, half of £21 would be £10.50. And then if we add these two together, that'll tell us what 15% is. So let's just put a decimal point and some zeros. That's a calculator question, actually. If you just add them on your calculator, you get that's equal to £31.50. So that's Nicole's saving. So she's not paying £210, she's going to save £31.50. So let's take the £210, take away £31.50 and see how much Nicole would pay in Homeworld. So £210, take away £31.50 is equal to £178.50. So that's how much Nicole would pay in Homeworld. Okay, so now Oklahoma, and I've changed colour of ink here. So in terms of Oklahoma, there's an offer and it's buy 2, get 1 free. Now she wants to buy 42 light bulbs. So we need to figure out how many would she buy and how many would she get free to give her the 42 light bulbs. Now every single time that Nicole buys 2, she gets 1 free. So altogether that would be 3 light bulbs. Now she wants to buy 42, so let's take 42 and let's divide it by 3. And 42 divided by 3, it's a calculator question, is equal to 14. So that means that she's going to buy 2 and get 1 free 14 times. She's going to buy 2, get 1 free, buy 2, get 1 free, buy 2, get 1 free. And she's going to do that 14 times. She's going to buy 2, get 1 free. She's going to buy 2, get 1 free, 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 buy 2, get 1 free. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 4 times because she's going to do it 14 times. Buy 2, get 1 free, buy 2, get 1 free, buy 2, get 1 free, buy 2, get 1 free. So she does that 14 times because every single time she buys 2 and get 1's free, that's 3 light bulbs. And 3 times 14 is 42. So that means that Nicole would buy, she's got 2 plus 2 plus 2, 14 times. So she's going to buy 28 light bulbs. She's going to buy 28 light bulbs and she's going to get 14 free. So she gets 14 free. So she buys 28, she gets 14 free. So that's how she'd buy the light bulbs in Oklahoma. Now, if we look, each light bulb in Oklahoma costs £6.50. So she's going to buy 28 light bulbs. She's going to buy 28. She buys 28 light bulbs at £6.50. So if we do £6.50, so £6.50 multiplied by 28, that'll tell us the cost of those 28 light bulbs. So 28 times £6.50 is equal to £182. And then she would get 14 free. So she'd buy 28 at £6.50, that's £182, and she'd get 14 free. So altogether she'd get the 42 light bulbs that she'd want. And the cost would be £182. And in Homeworld it was £178.50. So Homeworld's actually better value for money. So let's explain that. And that's it. I've just written down that Homeworld is cheaper. It's the best value for money. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, so let's have a look at our next question, question number 18. So question number 18 says a supermarket sells cashew nuts in 200 gram packets and 500 gram packets, and they've got two offers on the cashew nuts. For the 200 gram packet, you can buy 5 packets of those cashew nuts for £9.80. Or for the 500 gram packet, you can buy 3 packets for £14.75. And the question says which offer is better value for money? And you must show your working. Okay, so let's start off with the 5 packets for £9.80. So each packet has 200 grams of cashew nuts in it. And if you buy 5 packets, well, 200 multiplied by 5 is equal to 1,000. So you get 1,000 grams or 1 kilogram for £9.80. So you get 1,000 grams, or actually that's 1 kilogram. So you get 1 kilogram of cashew nuts for £9.80. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the price, which is £9.80. So £9.80. I'm going to divide that by the number of kilograms, which is 1. And that means that it's going to be £9.80 per kilogram. So £9.80 per kilogram of cashew nuts. Now, I didn't actually need to do that division because I knew it was going to be £9.80 for 1 kilogram, but I was just using that technique just to show you that if it was anything other than 1 kilogram, you would do the division like so. Okay, now this offer, which was 3 packets of 500 grams for £14.75. Now you get 3 packets, that's 3 times 500 grams, which is 1,500 grams, or 1.5 kilograms. So you get 1.5 kilograms for £14.75. So if we take the price, the £14.75, so £14.75, and divide that by 1.5, that'll tell us the price per kilogram. So £14.75 divided by 1.5 is equal to 9.8333 and so on pounds per kilogram. So now let's compare the offers. So using this offer, each kilogram of cashews would cost £9.80. And then if we look at this offer, each kilogram of cashews would be 9.8333 and so on pounds. So this one's going to be better value for money. So let's explain that. And that's it. I've just explained that the 5 packets of 200 grams of cashews is better value for money. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 19. So question number 19, we're told the candles normally cost £6 each, and there's 2 websites with special offers. There's Corbettmaths Candles and Candles R Us. And Corbettmaths Candles, you can buy 3 candles and get 1 free, or Candles R Us, you just get 20% off. And the question says Laura wants to buy 30 candles, and we're asked which website should she use. Okay, so let's start off with Candles R Us. That one's quite straightforward because it's £6 per candle and she wants to buy 30. So we would do 30 multiplied by £6 and that would be equal to £180. But she's going to get 20% off. And this is a non-calculator question, so we're going to need to take 20% off without using our calculator. So let's get 10% off £180. So 10% would be equal to get 10% you just divide by 10, so that'll be £18. And then 20% would be double that. We would double the £18 to get 20%. And double £18 is £36. So that means that Laura's going to save £36 using this special offer. So because that's how much she's saving, if we take the £180 and take away the £36, that's equal to £144. So the 30 candles in Candles R Us would cost £144. Okay, now Corbettmaths Candles. I'm just going to change the blue ink here just so we don't get mixed up between our 2 shops. So now Corbettmaths Candles, this one's obviously going to be better value for money, Corbettmaths. So in Corbettmaths Candles, for every 3 she buys, she gets 1 free. So she buys 3, she gets 1 free. So if she does that, she gets 4 candles. If she buys another 3, she gets another 1 free. And then altogether, she'd have 8 candles. Then she'd buy another 3 and get 1 free. She'd have 12 altogether. Then she'd buy 3 and get another 1 free. That's then going to be 16 altogether. I'm just going to scroll down and give us a bit more space here. Then if she buys 3 and gets another 1 free, that's going to be 20 candles. If she buys 3, gets another 1 free, that's going to be 24 candles. We're getting there. We're getting close to the 30 candles. Then she buys 3, gets 1 free. That's going to be 28 candles because every single time she buys 3 and gets 1 free, that's another 4. So we've got the multiples of 4 here. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Now if we go back up, it says Laura wants to buy 30 candles. Now she's bought 28. If it was me, perhaps I would probably buy 32. I'd just buy another 4, and I would buy another 3 and get 1 free, and I'd probably just buy 32 candles and have 2 spare candles. But we're told in the question she wants to buy 30 candles, so we better buy the 30 candles that she wants to buy. So these are the ones that she's buying. She's buying these ones, she's buying these, buys, and then these are the ones she gets free. So if she's at 28, she needs to get another 2 candles. Now she won't have enough to get another special offer, so she's just going to have to buy 2 candles there. So if we have a look at this all together, Laura's going to buy 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 23 candles. So she's going to buy 23 candles, and she's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 free. So she buys 23 and she gets 7 free. Now if we go back up, let's see what the price was. Each candle was £6. So with Laura, she's going to buy 23 candles at £6 each. So we need to do 23 multiplied by £6 to see how much she spends in Corbettmaths candles. So let's take our 23. It's a non-calculator question, so we're going to use column multiplication here. 6 times 3 is 18. Put an 8 down, carry a 1. And 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 is 13. So the price in Corbettmaths candles would be £138. She would spend £138 to buy the 23 candles, and she would get 7 free. So if we compare the prices, it's £144 in Candles or Us. It's £138 in Corbettmaths candles. So which website should she use? Corbettmaths candles. Now obviously here we're assuming that it's free delivery, so that's one assumption that we're making here. But if there was free delivery, she should use Corbettmaths candles. And that's it. The answer is Corbettmaths candles. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, so let's look at our next question, question number 20. So question number 20 says 2 shops sell the same type of perfume. And then here we're told some information about the 2 shops. We've got shop A, and they've actually got a slightly bigger bottle of perfume now, so they get 50% extra free, so they're going to get more perfume, and it still costs £40, so that's their special offer. And for shop B, they buy one and get the second half price. And then the normal price obviously is £40 for 100 millilitres, which we're told in the question. And then the question continues. It says, Rebecca says that both offers give the same value for money. Is she correct? And we've been asked to show our working. Okay, so let's start off by looking at each shop. So let's start off by looking at shop A. So shop A, it says that there's 50% extra free. Now normally you'd get 100 millilitres, but you're going to get 50% extra. So if we think of 100, 50% of 100 would be 50, and 50% extra, that means that you're now going to get 150 millilitres. Because if you want to find 50% of a number, you just divide it by 2, and that'll be 50, and you get 50 extra. So that's 150 millilitres for £40. Now if we look at shop B, you buy one, get the second half price. So remember, each bottle has 100 millilitres. So that bottle has 100 millilitres, and that bottle has 100 millilitres. So altogether, that's 200 millilitres. So you're going to get 200 millilitres of perfume, and it's buy one, get the second half price. So you're going to buy one at £40. The second one's half price, that's going to be £20. So then if you buy one for full price and one for half price, altogether that'll be £60. So you're going to get 200 millilitres for £60. And then we're told that Rebecca says that both offers give the same value for money. So let's compare the value for money now. Okay, so in terms of shop A, it was 150 millilitres for £40. So let's take the price, £40, and I'm going to change it into pennies, 4,000 pence, and I'm going to divide that by how much perfume's in that bottle, which was 50% bigger, so that's 150 millilitres. And if we do 4,000, and let's get my calculator, 4,000 divided by 150 is equal to 26.666 and so on, p per milliliter. So each milliliter of that perfume costs 26.6666 and so on pence. So it's quite expensive. 1 little milliliter costs 26.666 and so on pence. Okay, now in terms of shop B, the price was £60. It was 200 milliliters for £60. So if we take the £60, and I'm going to change it into pence, 6,000 pence, and I'm going to divide it by how much perfume you get, which is 200 milliliters. And if we do 6,000 divided by 200, that's equal to 30. So it's 30p per milliliter. Now here you can see that these two shops don't have the same price per milliliter. Now she was saying that both offers give the same value for money. If there was the same value for money, you would have the same price per milliliter, because that'd be the same value for money. But you can actually see that shop A here is actually better value for money. It's only 26.666 and so on pence per milliliter. But shop B is more expensive. It's 30p per milliliter. So let's explain that. Is she correct? No. And I've just explained that no, shop A is better value for money. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 21. Okay, so let's look at our next question, question number 21. So question number 21 says, in England, a 10-mile train journey costs £6.40. That's probably gone up now. I wrote this a few years ago. And we're told in Ireland, a 20-kilometre train journey, so instead of being miles, we've got kilometres, costs €10.85. Because obviously in England they use pounds and in Ireland they use euros. And we're told at the time £1 was equal to €1.40 and that 1 mile is approximately equal to 1.6 kilometres. We've been asked which train journey is better value for money. Now in this question, what I actually want to do is I want to change these units. So instead of using miles and kilometres, I'd rather have them both as miles or both as kilometres. And I want to have the same currency. So I don't want one in pounds and one in euros. I want to actually change them to the same currency. So what I'm actually going to do is, because £1 is equal to €1.40, I'm actually going to take the £6.40 and I'm going to multiply that by €1.40 because every pound is €1.40. So if I take the £6.40 and multiply that by 1.4 or 1.40, so £6.40 multiplied by 1.4 is equal to, that's equal to €8, so €8.96. So I've just converted the pounds into euros. I could have taken the cost in Ireland, the €10.85, and divided, so 10.85 divided by 1.4, and that's equal to £7.75. So you could have divided this one by 1.4 and got £7.75p, but I've just changed into euros. And also we're told that 1 mile is approximately 1.6 kilometres. So if I take the train journey in England, which was 10 miles, if I do 10 multiplied by 1.6, so 1.6, that's equal to 16 kilometres, or approximately equal to 16 kilometres. So this is 16 kilometres. So now we can actually look in England, we've got a 16-kilometre train journey for €8.96, and in Ireland we've got a 20-kilometre train journey for €10.85. So that makes the question a bit easier, that we've got the same units for the distances, kilometres, and we've got the same currency, euros. You could have changed them into pounds and miles and so on if you wanted to, but that's what I've done in this question. Now what I'm going to do is work out the cost per kilometre. So work out for each kilometre of travel, how much does that cost me? So let's start off with England. So in England, we've got the price, which is €8.96, and we're going to divide that by 16 kilometres because there's 16 kilometres of journey there. And if we take our €8.96 and divide that by 16, that's equal to 56 cents per kilometre. So each kilometre costs 56 cents. And in Ireland, if we take the price, which was €10.85, and divide that by the distance, which is 20 kilometres, that'll tell us the price per kilometre in Ireland. So €10.85 divided by 20 is equal to, in euros, 0.5425 per kilometre. So in England it costs 56 cents per kilometre. In Ireland it costs 54.25 cents per kilometre. So you can see Ireland's better value for money. It's cheaper per kilometre. So let's explain that. And that's it. I've just explained that the train journey in Ireland is better value. Okay, let's look at our last question, question number 22. So question number 22 says a company normally makes 200-gram bars of chocolate. And as the cost of the ingredients has increased, the company are planning to either, option 1, increase the price of each bar by 20%, or option 2, keep the price the same but reduce the amount of chocolate by 30%. And the question says, work out which option gives better value for the customers. Explain your answer. So neither of these options are good. Either the price is going to go up or the amount of chocolate is going to come down. But we've decided which option is going to be better value for the customers. If they're going to have one of these two options, which one's the least worst? Okay, so let's look at these two options. And before we begin, I'm going to let the price of the chocolate bar be £1 at the minute. So before they do anything, I'm going to let the price be £1. So I've just said let the cost be £1. So that's how much the cost is going to be to begin with, okay? And let's see which of these two options would be the least worst for the customers. Okay, so in terms of option 1, so option 1. So option 1 says to increase the price of the bar by 20%. So if the price was £1, well, if we want to increase that by 20%, that'll be now £1.20, because if you take 100 pence, you divide it by 10 to get 10%, which is 10p, and double it would be 20p. So it's going to go up by 20p, so that'll be £1.20. So that'll be 200 grams of chocolate for £1.20. So that's 200 grams for £1.20. So that's what option 1 is. So that's what you would get. For option 2, it says keep the price the same, so still £1, but reduce the amount of chocolate by 30%. So let's reduce the 200 grams by 30%. So if we had 200 grams, if we get 10% of that, 10%, divide that by 10 will be 20 grams. We want 30%, so if we take our 10% and times that by 3, 30% would be, if we times 20 grams by 3, that'll be 60 grams. So that means they're reducing the amount of chocolate by 60 grams. So let's take the 200 grams that was in there to begin with and take away the 60 grams, and that's equal to 140 grams. So that means if for option 2, you would now have a small bar, which is 140 grams, but the price would stay the same, so that'll be £1. So with option 1, you would get 200 grams of chocolate for £1.20, or whatever the price was, gone up by 20%. Remember, we let it just be £1, but it doesn't matter in terms of letting us know which of these two options is the better option for the customers, if there is a better one. And then option 2, we've seen that we would only get 140 grams for the same price of £1. Okay, so now let's divide the price by the number of grams to work out the cost per gram. So here we've got £1.20. I'm going to do 120 pence, and I'm going to divide that by 200 grams, and that'll tell us the price per gram. So 120 divided by 200 is equal to 0.6p per gram. So 0.6p per gram. With option 2, the price was £1, so 100 pence, and we're dividing it by 140 grams, and that'll tell us the price per gram. So 100 divided by 140 is equal to 0.714 and so on, p per gram, so p per gram. Now here, if we compare the price for 1 gram, it's 0.6p or 0.714 and so on p. This one's actually better value for money. So in terms of which option gives the better value for money for the customers, well, none of them give you as good value as you had originally. That was the best option, was to keep them the same for the customers. But in terms of these two options, option 1 would be the better of the two for the customers. So let's explain that. And that's it. I've just explained that option 1 is the better value for the customers. And that's it. And that's it. So these have been the video solutions to the Corbettmaths Practice Questions on Best Buys. I really hope you found this video useful. If you have found it useful, please like and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.